Hello, everybody. How are you all doing? You can't believe who I have here with me on set. This is Mr. Azariah, the premium barber, the number one barber of Vancouver. Actually, it has been a lot of planning for us to have a time like this to discuss how you can build your own business, especially when it comes to building a lucrative barbershop business. Mr. Azariah has been in the game and he has been killing it. He has so many customers and so many things we will learn from him today. That's why what we do on TGM podcast, we usually invite people who are killing it in their game, who are doing very well in their businesses, for them to share their wealth of experiences with us. That's why we are here. Mr. Azariah, can we meet you, please?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Glad to be with you today.
Oh, nice. I am really honored for you to actually honor this invitation. I'm very happy to have you on set. It's been a very more than 2 years now I met you. Since I came to Canada, you've been the one giving me premium haircut.
Wow, about the time,
Yeah, so about 2 years now, and it has been a very different kind of haircut. And I've also learned to relate with him on a personal level, other things he does, some of his hobbies, traveling. I think you are more like the most traveled barber in the whole of the universe. He travels a lot. I don't think there's any city in the US you've not visited. Is there anyone in the US?
Not all, but I've seen at least the major ones I've been to.
So he travels a lot. Sometimes I tend to wonder, do you have special budget from the government for your traveling allowance?
I wish the government would put me on a payroll so I can get around the world a little bit better.
It's so exciting to see what you do at your business. It's very encouraging, inspiring. I kind of see the caliber people that trip into your store, and they kind of feel fulfilled and have that kind of attachment. And I remember recommending a few of my friends to your shop after I've also had the experience. It's more about the experience, not just the barbing, but the experience you give to your customers. So before we really dig deep into this conversation, let's get to meet you. Let's get to know how you started. How did this come about? Did you have this in mind when you were small, that you're going to go into barbing? What is the passion behind it?
Well, when I was about 9th grade, I was tired of barbers always messing up my hair. So I decided to say, one day I'm gonna have my own barbershop, or one day. So then I started the practice of cutting my own hair. And then a few friends asked if I could do a certain haircut. I looked at it, I'm like, yeah, sure, why not? And that's how I started actually to cut hair. But the desire of wanting to have my own barbershop, wanting to make people look good and putting a smile on others has always been part of me since I was a young boy. And now that I'm growing and walking into my purpose and what I want to achieve, it's been a journey and still growing.
Interesting. Yeah, you might want to. I don't really understand. Did you say you learned how to barb all by yourself, or you had some kind of training?
Well, technically, no, I didn't have training.
Wow.
I did the training. So cutting hair is by watching. So you have to be able to watch and then translate it into mechanical. So translate it to practice. So what you see, now you have to put it. So you have to be a bit of artistic within your mind frame.
Yeah.
So when you learn how to cut hair, you have to be able to see what somebody's doing and then put in practice. So it's hands-on. So you gotta know how the hair grows, which formation or which direction, and we all have different hair. We can even be from the same family, and our hair is totally different, how it's growing and how it's formulating in your head. So once you figure that out, then everything becomes, then as you continue to cut, you learn new tricks to be better at your craft.
I'm still very, very amazed that someone could learn how to cut hair without going through at least 6 months of practice with probably apprenticeship. Is it that easy? Because I can't even barb myself.
It's not easy. It's not something that you can just. Okay, so today people look at YouTube videos and they think they can cut hair, but it's different. It's all about your eye-hand coordination, right? So you have to be able to project it in your mind in order for you to actually put it in practice. So if you can't project it up here, you can't cut hair. So to learn really is easy and not easy at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to have an eye for everything. Eye key to detail.
Yeah.
It's a very detailed thing, so you have to have that. So you watch, and what you see is what you do. So that's how it works. So most people think you just go out there and start buzzing. No, there's art to it. There's an art to it on how to get it done.
Impressive. You really challenge me, right? So you can actually go that far to learn a new skill all by yourself because of your passion that you have, and also the commitment you have, and you're able to build, not just learn the skill and also own your own business out of it. And it's very, very interesting to know. But let's digress a little. You say you were was it grade 7 or was what?
Ninth grade. Yes.
Okay, 9th grade. Oh, nice. But when did you move to Canada, or were you originally born here?
No, I was born in the Kingdom of Uganda.
Okay.
Some millennia years ago. It's been some time now. So I moved to Canada when I was about 11 years old.
Oh.
Yeah, I came here preteen, and so I went to grade school, high school, and college, university. Yeah. Since.
Oh.
Yeah. So the bigger part of my life, I've spent it on this continent.
Okay. Okay. But what for your high school, college, or university? What province was it, in BC, or where were you originally?
No, my adopted home is Ontario. My adopted home place would be Toronto, Ontario. But I lived in the Niagara region.
Okay.
Yeah, I've also spent time in the US because I've spent time in the US, and I've been in BC for some.
About how long?
Since end of 2007, so about 13 years or so. Yeah.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's a long time. Interesting.
So
Did you start your profession of cutting hair in Toronto?
I started cutting hair in high school.
In high school?
Yeah, so I was cutting my friends, myself, and a few people. So that's when I started getting the trade or the skill polished. And then when I moved out to BC, I was doing other things. So about 2016, that's when I said I'm gonna go back into cutting hair permanently.
I was going to ask you, at what stage, what year did you actually decide that this is what I'm going to do professionally, build a career out of it? 2016.
Yeah, so 2016 I decided I'm gonna pursue it. I'm gonna push it because I've always wanted to be in the business. And so in 2016 I decided I'm gonna do this. However, I might still do other things on the sides. So I dabble in different businesses. I would say different ventures. And they all trade outside of the fashion I also do a bit of fashion um, influencing. That's what they call it these days.
Yeah.
But for I do paid stuff. But outside of that, yeah, most of my time is cutting hair and getting people looking nice.
Yeah, we actually going to come to that part where about your travels, about your fashion. That's very area that we need to really dig deep on. Yeah, but I still want to also know, how did you come about this process for these viewers that who probably want to uh, start a business like this? What was the process like? What do you need to belong to a particular association? Do you need to get a certification here in BC, or do you have to go for you register your business name first before you started?
Well, in BC it's kind of different.
Yeah.
For barbers, I'm sure they don't need a certification. However, you do need a business license, so you do have to register your business, and you do have to. So once you register your business, then it's about finding space and stuff where you're going to do it. Some people cut out their homes and whatnot, which is something I cannot do. I like my privacy and stuff. So coming to business, the way how I started, a friend of mine was talking about opening a beauty salon, and I said, hey, I can come in, we can do things together, and that's how it came about, right? So in terms of certification, so for some things people go to school and others don't go to school. But in BC, other provinces, you do need a certificate of this and this, or you do an exam to get your certification through the province.
Yeah.
Yes, to allow you to be able to cut hair. So say if I live in Alberta, you have to do an exam to get that certification, or in Ontario. Yeah.
Nice. If I got you correctly, the same person, your friend, you decide to do the business with, or probably share almost the same space. Is that's the same friend you're talking about, the one you're with now, or somebody else? Was it Julie?
So, yeah, with Julie's Beauty. Yeah, so we started in 2016.
Oh,
so
right,
Julie's Beauty
right from the onset, you started with Julie.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we started. We're still going. It's still growing.
She is good.
Yes.
So she's also very,
somebody you should have on here.
Yeah. I think so. Yeah. She's very an interesting individual, and I've seen the kind of customers. So you guys are very, I don't know how to, more like a team, a very formidable team.
Yeah, we're a team. We're a family at this point. We're a family, and we're moving forward through the struggles that we go through.
Yeah.
We went through a time where we just show up, sit there and look at each other.
Nothing to do.
Nothing to do, and then go home. And we did it over and over until we started to grow, and we're still growing. And thank God. But yeah, it's a struggle. This business is not something you just walk in and it blossoms right away. It takes time. You know, with any business, it takes time, and our people most of the times think, I'm going to start a business today and I'm going to profit right away.
True.
But really, after the first 2 years, you're guaranteed to fail in business. So it's about the tenacity that you have to want to continue, where you show up every day and no one is showing up. How do you then continue, right? So you gotta either want it, or you reach a boiling point and say, this is it, I'm gonna go do something else. Right. But for us, we fought through it, and we're still growing, we thank God. So it's been
it's interesting, because actually I've had that kind of experience before starting a business, so I know the kind of challenges that usually come with starting a new business. So sometimes it's more like you're lonely, right? Because nobody sees what you're seeing, and everybody wants to see the results, right? So until you get to that point where you break even, for you to even start making buck all your investment, it takes a while. Sometimes it won't fail. Sometimes you even run into loss, right?
Oh yeah.
Here, where cost of living is quite expensive, So you can't, building a business, you need something to sustain you to pay your bills. You know, I kind of relate with what your position, what you just said in retrospect. But another thing that is also coming to my mind is about why the location, why New Westminster? Was it a why not Vancouver downtown? Why New Westminster? What that location, was it strategic, or what was the reason behind choosing that location?
Well, for looking around, New West is pretty central to everything, right? So you're 20 minutes into Vancouver, it's 5 minutes into Surrey, and the people as far as Langley and Mission are not that far away from you. I was for 45 minutes. So New West is pretty central. So for us to be blessed and find a place that was actually God's grace. So it was chosen simply because of its geographical location. So we can pull in people from all sorts of the greater Vancouver area, all sorts of areas, yeah.
Oh, interesting. So this is nice. There are some, were there instances where people, what about the pricing? Do you feel that is what you should be charging, or do you feel the customer think you are charging too much? There's a narrative more like the expectation of the customer and the expectation of the barber, right? The owner of the barber shop. So, do you think, from your own perspective, do you think what you're charging now is enough, or is good enough? Or before we now talk about what is the reaction of some customers, do you have any situation where customer says what you're charging is too high or is too cheap? What's the reaction to that?
My prices are not the highest. They are actually some of the lowest given to the service that I'm giving, right?
Yeah.
So it's been on me, not because after the pandemic, I didn't just want to raise my my prices right away, because I understood people were actually going through it. But also what people need to also understand, that I too have to sustain a business. I have to pay bills.
Yeah.
So I try to leave my prices moderate for everyone.
Yeah.
So for 4 years I did. Yeah, for a good 4 years I haven't raised my prices until recently. I said it's time to actually raise the price.
Yeah, actually, I think your prices is actually fair or good. I remember there are some salons that they charge differently for just to carve your bears. And you know we Africans like to keep our bears or cut it and all that.
Yeah.
So they charge differently for the bears and they charge differently for the haircut.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you try to tell them about the style, they don't know about the styles because they don't know African haircuts. They are not familiar with African haircut. But from what I've seen personally, I think your prices is about the lowest, actually very affordable compared to the quality of work that you are doing. But that brings me to another part, because while we discuss about the cost, right, we are also considering your competition, right, your competitors. Even there in New Westminster, right, you have a salon or most, I don't know how many, but one salon that has so many barbers.
It's about 4 or 5 on the same street that I'm on.
Yeah, so you can see. So how have you been able to stay since 2016 till now, and you are still flourishing?
Well, the way I look at it, I don't look at it as competition. I don't think it's competition. There's enough heads out there, okay? You know how many people need a haircut?
Yeah, sure.
So not one barber cannot deal with every single one of them. I don't deal with every single one of them, right?
Yeah.
And for me, it's about the experience that people get, the conversations we have.
Yeah.
You've been to the bar, you've been there when we have interesting conversations
Yeah.
about all, because you're meeting people from all sorts of walks of life. that have different ideas in their heads. So it's like a converging place where people come. We have a place. So most people come there for the experience, for the conversations, for the camaraderie that comes out of what's happening, and also for the great service and what I put on, what I'm going to do for them, right? The service I'm giving them, that they're satisfied. I'm going to cut your hair tailored to how your head is shaped and how you want it, right? You may want something, but I may say this will work better for you, right?
Sure. I remember that I had that kind of trust initially. That usually when you want to ask me what do you want, I'll say anything you want, just do anything. There was a time like that kind of trust. It gets to a level where your customers begin to trust you, that your judgment is nice, right? So and talking about the experience, it's very, you have a very unique experience at your shop, right? Your Julie is also very interesting, and the kind of music you guys play, and the kind of conversations that goes on in there. Like if you go to Azariah shop, be sure that you're going to get the latest updates. Which musician is coming to town, right? Which event is going to hold. More like that. Then you see music that will interest you, that will bring you either to holding this or the reminds you of so many like memories, right? Or it takes you to the future, the ones of now. So you can't really predict what will happen. The conversations, the haircut, the discussions that usually goes on around there. So I think that is very one of the things that is probably giving you, would I call it, differentiation over your peers, apart from the cost leadership that you also have, right? So so looking at it, this business needs to run sometimes, and for it to run, you should be able to run even where you're not around. Do you have in mind of bringing people on board, other barbers, or do you want to also expand? What are your plans for expansion?
So currently we do have chairs that we want to fill, right? That other people come and work and grow with us. It's about the issue is finding the people that are actually interested in the crafts, either braiding or cutting hair, right? And are willing to put in the work and are willing to grow a clientele, right? So as you know, Vancouver is very small, our community is small, and so finding people with the skill to execute is the biggest issue that we face, right? And but in terms of expansion, personally, I do want to expand to different countries. I do want to start out with regards to Uganda and possibly in America as well, in the US, just to give back. Like for me, it's about creating for others, to see others grow, to see others benefit from what I know, from what I saw. It's like I'm giving back, and passing on what I know to someone else, right? The young, I'm always like on Wednesdays, I do a program through the Washington Kids Foundation, Game Ready, where I deal with the underprivileged kids, cut their hair, talk some sense into their lives, and hopefully they listen and something comes out of it, right? So I do those kind of things to give back, and if anyone is willing to learn, I'm willing to take them on, guide them, and then have them go on their merry way for the better of their lives, So in terms of expansion, we're coming Uganda for sure, and for now Uganda is in the works, and then we do the US.
Okay, now talking about expansion, do you also think that you might also need to expand to within BC, like Victoria, like even Surrey or Vancouver, like bringing your shop closer to the people, right? Then before talking about
different locations.
Yes,
different locations. Because of the business can work in the way how I want to expand is just setting up shop, teaching people how to do things, how to do, and then having people work rather than me being in the shop,
Okay.
right? I'm there to initially to set up and then teach and then let them carry on with the business while I'm sitting in the background.
Yeah.
So there's that part of the aspect of it. And in terms of here, if I could find barbers, if I could find braiders, then we expand into the different regions that I can sit back and let the operation go on and so on. So when I travel, I don't have to tell people I'm gonna be away. Someone is there to take on that. As of right now, I don't have anyone to back me up.
Yeah, that's something that is also
It's challenging.
challenging because most times, because there's this part of you who is the founder of 23 Records, and there's another part of you who is a fashionista, a celebrity.
I don't know about that part.
looking at your travels and lifestyle on social media, one will at least say you have over $10 million, right? So probably say you have over $10 million. All right. So that's an error. So but in reality, I don't want to ask you how much is it, but that's that kind of lifestyle. It's very, very interesting because if you can actually just 1 second. Okay. So if you can actually, sorry about that, if you can actually look at what you have on your social media and the lifestyle and all that, which is a life, I like the work-life balance, right? You have work and life balance, you have a balance, and you take your vacations where you need to go to places, refresh yourself. Yeah, but what happens to the business? Most times when you travel like that on your luxurious trip, on your luxurious trip to any part of the world, right? So everything has to be on standstill, right? So until you get back. So I think if 23 Records looks at that area, right, that will be also be very, very interesting. That will be nice. That will be very nice. Yeah.
It's very challenging, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie that I love it, but because when I'm away, I'm not making money sometimes, right? Outside of if I'm doing gigs through the fashion aspect of things that I do, right? If I have a gig, then yeah, then I'm making money through that. But when, in terms of, because I'm pretty much a one-man show,
Yeah.
right? So I want to have someone, and that's where the challenge comes in. Again, is finding the people who are willing to work and are going to be punctual with the work, right? We don't want something that's just going to be mediocre.
Yeah.
We want it to be excellent. So but in terms of traveling and stuff, that all goes into planning.
Yeah.
It's not as expensive as it looks. That's the issue. That's the problem that people think.
So,
Traveling can be cheap depending on how you plan. It's all in the planning. So the planning takes away a lot. And that's why you see people on Instagram or whatnot living this life. It's not, some people, spending quite a lot of money. But my travels are not as expensive as they look.
really?
No.
Really?
Yeah, so there's a way to do it. You plan ahead. By the time my trip comes, it's already paid off,
Okay.
right? So I'm just.
But it's almost like travel every month or even twice a month.
I used to travel every month. Right now it's slow, and I would like to get back to traveling at least once a month, even if it's just locally, not internationally. Even if it's just within Canada or within the province, just to get out, just to refresh your mind. Sitting around in the same place too long can clog your mind and vision, right? So when you get out and see the world, it gives you a whole new sense of living and purpose, right? And that's why I enjoy it. Outside of the fact that I enjoy God's creation, what man has done around the globe.
Oh, interesting. So, but this part of the fashion,
Yeah.
just lot of, I'm just also very good with photography. I must commend you for that because the way your pictures or your reels comes out, it comes out very, very unique quality and everything. The sound, the dress, the video quality, everything you just understood for like a brand. You just grew yourself like a brand, which is what I actually admire about business owners because personal brand is also very important. Right? But how come about all those skills? How did you get into personal brand?
Well, it all started. I mean, before I used to do a little bit of modeling when I was younger, so I was already into the fashion thing. But once that stopped, then when Instagram came about, I was like, hey, then Instagram became monetized, where you can make a little bit of money out of it. There's over 2 billion people are making on Instagram. I'm like, hey, I gotta tap into this. I need to get some of that money out there, right? So building your own brand is the desire to look good, the desire for good things for you, right? And so you go out and you learn every day. I'm learning something new on how to better myself, or how to better my content, how to better how I shoot or how I do things. It's difficult, but if you want it, you go after it, right? It's the ability to say, I need this done and I gotta go get it.
Yeah, very interesting because that's also says about even your this content creation. It's one part of it because you have about 3 accounts, right? 3 accounts, one for your barbing, barbershop, with very unique videos and also pictures, transformative videos and pictures. Then one for lifestyle and one for travels, which is very, very interesting. So how do you make money? Let me know if I'll start doing what you are doing.
Right,
So most times.
Well, you're on the right path. You get the subscriptions. As they grow, as you keep going, things are going to change, things are going to grow, and your business is going to take off. And through that, you're going to start seeing a change in your bank account as well. So it's about remain consistent.
Yeah.
Consistency is key, right? In this in this line of business. If you're not consistent, you're going to fall off. Yeah. And it's tough. Being a content creator is not easy, especially when you're doing it by yourself. If you have a team, it's a lot easier. Then you can even put out better content. But if you're working by yourself, it's kind of hard to. You have this going on, you have this going on. You gotta create content. So you can be discouraged in between. But if you're really about it, then you go after it.
Interesting. But one of the things I picked out was you said you also get some gigs for fashion. How does that work?
Okay,
people pay you for you to wear their clothing or what?
Yes, so I do pay the collaborations with companies. They'll send you, so they ask for how much, you tell them your price or what kind of gig you want to do. They can give you free items, and then all you have to do is create content with the items, but the items are yours. Or you say, this is how much it needs to be. This is how much per picture or per post or per story. This is how much I'm charging this much.
Are you serious?
Yes, and so it's all about, there's micro influencers and then there is the big ones, obviously. So It all depends on the type of. So companies do reach out from time to time and say, hey, we want you to do this. Are you willing to do on this kind of collaboration? Be it sunglasses, be it shirts, or be it anything. So if you're willing to do it, they're willing to pay, or they're willing to. There's some sort of composition that's taking place, and that's why I was like, I cannot be on Instagram just wasting time. I have to gain something out of it.
Oh,
you know?
Interesting. Yeah, I see you have lots of followers, especially for your fashion.
Yeah, that's because that was my first account.
And you also have a lot of engagement there too.
Yeah.
So thousands, tens of thousands of views and all that. I can see the engagement in those platforms. All of them are quite big, but I think this other one was much more bigger. And you are making cash from it, which is very interesting. So now, if we were to also tell someone who wants to get started with business either as a sole proprietor or somebody who wants to also have a barber shop, right? So what are the steps that person would need to take for them to get started here in BC?
For starters, you gotta have a plan. Write it down. Right? Write down your plan and then follow the footsteps of your plan. In BC, you obviously gotta register your business, and you gotta go to the city, get a license. Once you find a place, you go to the city, you get a license to operate a business, right? A business license. And once that's done, you start your business. And say if it's a barbershop, you start your business. You market. Marketing is key in business, especially in today's world that we live in. Marketing is free these days, pretty much, because of all these social media platforms on which we behold. So marketing is key. So once you've registered your business, you've got your name registered as operator or corporation, whichever one you choose. Now you go to the next step, which is finding a place, a home for your business.
Okay.
Some people operate out of their houses, and that's their business. Also their living and also their business. Depending on what kind of business you're doing, could be shipping, could be what, but your address can be the same as your home, right? And then, so for some businesses you need a license, for some businesses you don't need a license. For example, 23 Pieces Fashion is a registered business as well, with a GST number and whatnot, right? So that's another where I make income when I'm not in the shop.
Oh.
So having different streams of income do help. So once you've registered that, then you find a home, you find a renting spot, and most of the time that's the difficult part, is finding a place that's gonna be good with the finances. You gotta have some money put together, and that's what these grants the government gives for women mostly, especially women of color. There's grants they can go after. They can write.
Really?
Yeah, there's grants. There's quite a lot of grants out there. There's quite a lot of money the government can actually help people to start businesses. It's all about sitting down, coming up with a plan, and pitching it. And if it's a good pitch, they will give you a grant to start the business. Yeah, especially women. I would encourage our sisters to get into business.
Wow.
If they have a niche for business, because there's quite a lot of money out there the government will give.
So do you have names of such opportunities, such of those grants, or probably you can find out those?
I can definitely find out this. I don't have it on top of my head, but yeah, it's out there.
Okay.
The government does help a lot in for small businesses. Small businesses are not very easy to run. They need a lot of your time.
Yeah, it's not that easy.
A lot of your time. So if you want to start a business, be willing to sacrifice a lot of your time, sacrifice a lot of your time
And resources.
and resources
Yeah.
to make your business grow. if you're not willing to sacrifice your result. For instance, just one clipper that I use is $300. Okay.
Wow.
So if I cut 5 heads in a day, and I'm taking that money and I'm investing back into the business, I need to get back and forth from work. So all this time that I put, eventually it's gonna pay off, right?
Yeah.
Eventually you're gonna be able to sit back and be like, okay, I'm enjoying now the fruit of my labor and investment, right? So as someone that wants to start a business, you have to be willing to spend into your business, to invest into your business, and also invest your own time. Invest your time and be serious about your craft.
Yeah. That's nice. Be serious about your craft. That's very key. Was there any time where you tried to barb somebody's hair and you now probably got it wrong, and how were you able to correct that?
Initially, of course, when I was learning, so it was interesting. I actually started learning besides my hair, and if I had quite a few. I deal with quite a different type of hair.
Yeah.
Be it Asian, be it Caucasian. So from a get-go, I started cutting Caucasian and Asian hair before I actually started cutting black people hair. So their hair is quite different and it's layered. So it's kind of easy, but also not easy when it comes to layering it, right? So you gotta learn how to layer it with the scissors, with shears, or with the clippers. So initially I didn't know how to. So I had to go back and watch. And so I could look at a haircut, someone walking by me, and I look at their head and I see how the hair is cut. And then I say, okay, I gotta implement this in my regimen of cutting hair on how I do things, right? So I can actually be like, okay, I see what they did here and what they didn't do here, right? Or just by looking at people's heads. So then I'll go back and look at the other people, how their hair was cut, people with similar hair. So it's all about knowing the texture of the hair, and how. So when you mess up, for our type of hair, it's kind of difficult to fix because what known as layered, for say Asian or Caucasian hair is also different. You can fix it because the other hair can cover where you so you do have those mishaps as you grow. Everybody that's learning a trade messes up at some point. I've messed up on my own hair to a point where the guard fell off and I cut a big chunk out of the middle of my head, so I had to go lower than I wanted it to go.
Wow.
So messing up is part of the thing, but how to fix it is the key.
Okay, nice. Was there any instance where somebody, people who are close to you, you have to cut their hair for free? Or when you were starting, did you cut hair for free?
I've cut.
Or you cut hair for pizza for
I'm not gonna have a pizza, but I've got a lot of heads for free. A lot. Yeah, initially when I started, it was free. It was absolutely free. I would just say, hey, you need a haircut, I got you. You know, even today, if someone comes and say, hey, I'm having a hard time in life, tell them, hey, sit down. It's on me. It's all right.
You take out the hard time from the hair.
You don't have to. You know, it's community building, right? It's giving back. If someone's having a hard time, if someone can't afford a haircut, it's okay. I'll cut your hair for free.
Wow.
It's absolutely fine. It's just be transparent with me and understanding with me that, hey, but if you're having a hard time, if you don't have a job, if you still need to look good. You gotta take care of the brother.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, it's okay too.
But you also not only good with your brothers, right?
Yeah.
Well, I've also taken some friends to you who were female, right? And you were able to do justice to their hair. So how come about that you also learned on the job? How did you?
So obviously female hair is different, and how you cut female hair is different from men, right? Also depending where you come from. So I've also had to go back. I do watch a lot of women how they cut hair, how they cut female hair. So through that, I've learned how to be able to deal with how female clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's all about, okay, now I need to better, okay, I can cut men, but can I deal also with women, right?
Yeah.
So now I have to go back and also coloring and whatnot. So I'm also able to do all these things. It's all about going back. You either take a class or you put in some hours of watching. So you take a class on coloring, you take a class on how to cut female hair, on how to cut long hair and stuff. So it's all about adding on to what you already know. So you add on, you keep adding on to your skill.
Interesting. So, if you were to say somebody comes to you, okay, first and foremost, what about enhancements? Do you do enhancement, or what's your position about enhancements?
No, I don't use enhancements.
Okay.
Simply because I find it tacky and I find it very momentarily. Right?
Okay.
Something that you just, okay, so if you come in, you want enhancements and I spray them on there, the moment you go take a shower, it's gone. Okay. When you got the haircut right there, and it look nice and clean. Now, the problem with enhancements, they hide your work.
Oh, I see.
Right.
I see.
If you're truly a master at your job, you don't need enhancements.
Okay.
If also, yeah, there's people that are unease with their look, with their confidence is kind of low.
Yeah.
Okay, my hairline is receding, let me get some enhancements. No, you're deceiving yourself. Your hair is gone. Accept it, right? It's easier to accept than put enhancements. Go home, take a shower, it's gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For that moment, yes, you looked sharp, you looked. But, and then what? But if you come in, we tailor we cut your hair to what you have. What you have is what we're going to work with.
What if
And
what you have is starting from here?
and then you accept your fate. You either go to Turkey or we'll give you a toupee. Okay, those are also coming. So I'm working on trying to do those for men that don't want to look bold. We can put a piece on there. So we're working on doing that.
Okay.
I'm taking class for that. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So that can also always be an answer to those who don't want to be bold. Or we can always send you to Turkey and see what they can do for you out there.
Oh, nice. So if we were to say in this industry, is there any barber you look up to? Probably you see follow them on Instagram or so.
Chuka the barber. He's pretty dope.
Yeah.
How he's run his business and how he's I started following him because of how he adjusted the clippers. So he came up with this thing. So I like this guy, and he's like some of my work.
Yes.
So he's in San Crabero. He's in California. He's a really good barber. So I follow him. And there's a few other barbers that I follow that are pretty like their work. They're in bigger markets, and I aspire to one day be in that caliber of the way they run their business there.
Yeah.
Sure.
If you were to pick one or two barbers to work with you, right? That's not currently working with you here in BC. Do you have any names? Have you worked with anyone before, or you not?
Unfortunately, no. I have not worked with any barbers in BC. I do know some of them, but we haven't worked together. Yeah.
Okay. That's very nice. That's very nice.
Yeah. Yeah, but for me, I don't see this I don't see work as a competition. I believe everyone can eat.
True.
There's enough food out there for everybody to eat, so
Yeah.
I don't see it as competition. If some people do see it as competition, I don't see it that way. There's too many heads out there to be competing with anybody.
Yeah.
What I'm here to do is do my job, do my work efficiently, and execute it to the best way I can.
Interesting. So if there are some days you don't open, right? What days do you open? At what time?
Yeah, we don't open Sundays
Okay.
or Mondays.
Sundays and Mondays. Why
Yes.
Monday? It's unusual for me when I get to. Is it general in BC?
Well, it's generally around the block.
Wow.
Is Mondays. It's the first day of work.
Yeah.
The work week. People are going back to work. No one has time to come get a haircut. I don't need to be.
Yeah. So
Because majority of people get ready for the weekend.
Yeah.
Okay. And the first day of the week, which is Sunday. So people get ready for that, and Monday they go. So Sunday we close because people are getting ready for Monday.
Yeah.
And Monday people are going back to work.
I remember
haircuts.
two instances where I had to come down there, or three instances. And usually, days like that, on Sunday, Monday, 24/7 is usually when Barbershop is open in Nigeria, right? So we're coming here, seeing Barbershop close. Right, that day I really needed to look good, you know. So I really needed to look good, but eventually traveled to the US, and I even tried to even move forward to see if I could get it. Everybody was closed.
Yeah.
Everybody was closed.
Yeah, so Mondays is days we usually have off because we're in the shop Tuesday to Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And we also need.
So when do you close on these days? At what time?
Also, we open 10 o'clock to 6:30.
Okay, 10 to 6:30.
Yeah.
New Westminster.
Yes.
Guys, you heard it. 10 to
6:30.
6:30.
Tuesday to Saturday.
Oh, Tuesday to Saturday. Oh, that sounds good. So it's very, very, very good one having you here. A rare privilege. I'm really happy to have you here and wish you all the best.
I'm glad.
Yeah, you want to tell the viewers who will be facing the camera your Instagram handle?
Hi guys. So yeah, I'm Azariah, and we're located at 724 12th Street, New Westminster. That is 724 12th Street, 724 12th Street, New Westminster, British Columbia. Instagram handle is 23 cuts. That is 23CUTZ.
Yeah, that's one of your.
That's one of my handles. So that's my work handle, which is 23 cuts CUTZ, and my other one is _ Azariah, which is AZARIAH. So you begin with the _ Azariah, and then the other one is 23 pieces. 23 pieces.
Thank you so much. So you heard it, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in with this episode of TGM, the growth mindset with Joshua Olanrewaju. This is where we show people, business owners, individuals who are doing well, who are successful in their game. All right. So it's a very I'm very happy to have Azariah here. He has become a family member, not just a barber. Almost all our events, all my events personally, is always here to grace the occasion. I want to say thank you very much once again.
Thank you for having me.
See you at the top, the Odogu Baba, the Emeka of our time. Thanks, man.
Man, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks,
Do it again.
Thanks.
All right.